All right, let's get started then. And we're going to start in a seated posture this morning. And I know I always say find a comfortable seat, but this morning I'm going to ask you to just find a seat. To not do too much adjusting and wiggling, but just get seated. And that could be any way, cross-legged in a chair. Just find your first seat and close your eyes. Start to notice your breath. And we'll use this first few moments to notice actually the discomfort of just taking a seat, and just notice the tendency to adjust, to want to wiggle or move, or something's just not quite right. But let's use these first few moments to teach us to just be present even when everything is not perfect. And so then all there is to do is notice breath. Today, the word I'd like to focus on is the word wonder. And you can use that word to mean a curiosity. You can also use it to mean being in awe of something. I stand in wonder. So how about the beginning of this practice, the wonder of breath? Draw in a slow breath that makes its way through your nose, your throat, and into your lungs, and let that breath go. And we'll do two more slow, steady breaths. Now, as you empty out this third breath, we'll practice Viloma breathing, which is a three-part breath. And it's a little different than what you might know as three parts. So I'd like you to inhale into your belly, pause, sip in more into your rib cage, pause, sip in more up into your collarbones, pause, and now let the whole breath go slowly, steadily. And then three normal breaths in and out, steady breath. And with these steady breaths, maybe that Viloma breath has given you the opportunity to breathe a little more deeply. We'll do it one more time, Viloma breathing. So inhale into your belly and pause. Inhale ribs, pause. Inhale shoulders, pause. And then let that breath go all the way out, steady, long exhale. Nice. As we take these next three smooth breaths, add shoulder movement. Inhale, draw your shoulders up by your ears. Exhale, press your shoulders back down behind you, and do that two more times. Huge shoulder circles with breath. And then bring the fingertips to the floor on either side of you, touching the floor. And then turn the palms up, so rotating open through the shoulders. Inhale, arms overhead, reach tall. As you exhale, press your hands down but get taller. Reach the crown of your head toward the sky. So as we move our arms with breath, imagine that we're pushing the air down, causing us to be taller. Do that a couple more times. And this time, reach your arms tall. Inhale, twist to your right on the exhale. And we're going to do something different this time. So normally we sit tall on the inhale and we deepen on the exhale. What I'd like you to do is just fill up with breath. And on the exhale, twist yourself taller. Fill up with breath. Twist yourself taller. So instead of like screwing down into the wood, imagine unscrewing and lifting up. Inhale the arms back to center, reach high. And exhale, twist to your left side. The inhale, fill up. Exhale, sit taller as you twist a little farther. And finding our way back to center, let's bring hands to knees. We'll just move with breath now, opening the chest, sitting in seated cow, and then rounding the back, seated cat. Start to move in as big a direction as you can. Movement matches breath. Allow your attention to hold a place of wonder at the amazing miracle this body is to observe its movement, its functions, its synchronicities. Take one more breath in here. Pull your chest up, sip in as much breath as you can. And on the exhale, start to round your spine. Place your hands on the floor in front of you and walk your hands out as far as you can, coming down into a deep forward fold. And then you're allowing breath to move into the back of your body. You might move a little bit from side to side as you start to notice spaces in the back of your body. And then taking your time in a slow way, bring yourself around onto a tabletop position. All fours. And then let's continue that movement with breath. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to round your spine. Cat and cow. And if there's some other way that you like to move here, sideways, shifting forward and back, do that now. We're just warming up the body, bringing awareness inward. On your next cat, shift your hips all the way back over your heels, tuck your toes, and slowly peel up into downward facing dog. And then inhale, drop your knees open into cow. Exhale, child's to dog. Inhale, knees down, cow. Continue moving like that between those two places. And the next time you find downward facing dog, start to pedal your heels. Start to find your way into this wondrous posture. And as we continue this class, I'll be sharing some words with you from Charu Gupta. And he starts with, life itself is a wonder. But wonder about life is relative because we all look at the world differently. Let's look at some common wonders today. Slowly walk your feet to your hands and find yourself at the top of your mat in a rag doll. So knees bent, belly resting on thighs, touch your elbows and sway. So let's start with the wonder of aging. Bring your hands to the earth and just look at your hands. These hands that have become this age. These feet that were once baby feet that have walked the earth for however many years. The miracle, the wonder of aging. Press hands to shins, lengthen. Forward fold, exhale. Continue moving with breath, flat back to fold. Gupta says, aging is like walking down a path which can never be retraced. There is only one way to traverse it, and that is by moving forward. What we see on this path will never be the same. Bending the knees, scoop the arms high, reach back into extended mountain, and bring your hands to your heart, sit back into chair pose. Let's do that a couple of times. Sweep the arms high, reach back. Draw your hands to heart, sink into chair. Moving with breath. But the wonder of this path that we have walked is that the scenarios will always be remembered. They live in our heart. That is wonder. As we sink into chair pose, bring your hands to your thighs, widen your feet, and standing cat-cow now. So tucking the tailbone and arching the back. Move with breath. One more time, rounding and arching. And then feet come closer together, back into that forward fold. Root down through your feet. Press hands to shins, lift and lengthen. Let your arms come behind you, airplane arms. Start to feel the muscles on your back engaging, your shoulder blades hugging in tight, chest reaches forward. Exhale, hands to mat, downward facing dog. As we breathe in, let's come forward, drop right knee to the mat. Kick the right foot off the edge of the mat and open up into kneeling side plank. We'll explore some movement here for the shoulder. So let your arm reach over your ear, side body long and spacious. Cross your face, sweep the earth, and circle up again. Move with your breath in a way that feels healing and wonderful to your shoulder. Go one more time around, leaving the arms straight up overhead. Let your left leg lift, reach down to find that ankle. Open up here into a quad stretch. Breathe into the front of your body. Open the front of the shoulder. And then we'll release that. Come back toward a tabletop position, but thread the needle. Now let's find the back of that shoulder. So the back of the left shoulder is on the ground. Left ear toward the earth. Slow, deep breaths here. Let's release back to a tabletop position. Sweep that arm high and replace. Tabletop. Second side, kick your left foot off the mat and extend your right leg. Right arm comes up. Beautiful. And begin that circle. Reach over your head as far as you can. Scoop that arm down and open up. Moving breath through your body in a way of wonder, curiosity, exploration. One more nice big circle. The arm reaches high. Pick up the leg and find the ankle. Good. Just a little bit of balance here as we stretch and open through the quads, the hip flexors. Breathing into the front of your shoulder. And then as we release, we'll bring that arm around to thread the needle. So scooping that arm under, come to rest on the back of your shoulder with your right ear on the earth. And then we can direct the breath there back into the back of the shoulder. Feeling breath in the belly. Expansive. We'll find our way back to a tabletop position. Let's release that arm up once again and return to all fours, tabletop. Shifting forward onto our knees. So today, choices. You can stay right here and just press into the earth. Open your shoulder blades. You can take a couple of yogi push-ups, working on upper body strength, or melt your body to the earth and lift to cobra in a vinyasa. And we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Stepping our feet to the top of our mat, press hands to shins, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Put a nice deep bend back in the knees, arms reach behind, squeezing shoulder blades together, airplane. And then scoop down, extend up, hands to heart center. Pause here in mountain pose. Let your arms come to your sides or they can stay at your chest. Eyes closed, feel your feet. Steady breath in, steady breath out. Let's take a Viloma breath standing. So inhale to your belly, pause. Inhale ribs, pause. Inhale collarbones, pause. Exhale all the breath out. Feeling your feet firmly on the earth, steady breath. Wonder. Arms reach high, inhale. Hands meet, exhale, forward fold. We'll go through a sun A. Hands to shins, lift halfway. Downward facing dog, exhale. Shifting forward, you can be on your knees or your toes. Either stay here or lower down. Vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Pressing the left heel to the earth, bring your right toes to the back of your left heel. And we're going to use our toes to just anchor that heel down a little bit more. Imagine that your right toes are a yoga teacher giving you an assist, pressing your left heel down. And with that heel anchored there, raise the right leg. Find as much space between left heel and right toes as you can. Shifting forward, draw that knee toward your chin. Exhale all the air out and settle the foot onto the earth. We'll drop our back knee. Pausing right here to find hip flexor and hamstring. Let's shift forward and back. Move with breath. And as we come forward in this lunge, tuck your back toes. Step the back foot to meet the front foot. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach, extended mountain. And hands to heart. Sun A, arms reach. Hands meet, forward fold. Half lift, breathe in. And exhale, downward facing dog. Shifting forward, knees or toes. You can stay here or lower down through your vinyasa. When you find your downward facing dog, anchor your right heel toward the mat. Use your left toes like fingers to help you do that. Press the heel, lift the hip. And then raise your left leg high as you can. Space, right heel to left foot. Expand into the wonder of this body that has been aging since it took its first breath. Shifting forward, knee toward nose. Set that left foot on the earth and drop your back heel. Beautiful. Begin movement forward and back. As we come forward, let's tuck our toes, lift the knee, and step back foot to front foot, forward fold. Pause here, hands to the back of your legs. See if there's any more space than there was just a few minutes ago. Put a bend in your knees. Arms reach all the way up to extended mountain. Pause here. Cactus your arms. Open up through your chest. Feel your breath. On the exhale, elbows come forward. Sink your hips down into chair. Good. Inhale, open, expand. Beautiful. Exhale, sink. We're going to keep this movement going. We're just going to change one thing. So on the inhale, arms open, step one foot back into a small warrior one. And then come back, hands to heart, sink into chair. Move back left leg. So small warrior and chair. Back and forth, right leg back. Left leg back. Let's take the right leg back, hold warrior, step back just a little bit wider, and then reach up into warrior one. Breathe here, shoulders relaxed. Arms sliding back just a little, chest lifting, breath full. riding up onto our back toes. Let's let the hands come all the way down to the floor, low lunge. Step back a little farther and open into twist. Left arm reaches high. Fill up with breath. Empty breath out. Let your left arm come back just a little bit farther. Open your chest. Yeah. Good. And then release that hand to the earth. Step back, downward facing dog, your choice. Stay here or flow through vinyasa. We'll bring our right foot forward, dropping the back heel. Come up, warrior one. Move around a bit through your shoulders, through your hips. Find your warrior pose. Breathe into all the spaces. And then coming up onto the back toes, slowly lower hands. We'll move into twist. So your back toes are tucked. You can also drop the back knee, open right arm, and breathe. Deep, full, and slow breaths. On the exhale, hand comes to the earth, downward facing dog, and your choice, stay here or flow through a vinyasa. Vinyasa is plank, chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. On your next inhale, my friend, step your right foot forward, turn the back heel open, and come around into warrior two. Beautiful, everybody. Just bounce up and down in that front knee a little bit until you find home base, where the right knee is over the right ankle. The hips are open to the long edge of your mat and shoulders are relaxed. Feel your feet. Find your breath. Let's move with breath as we inhale back, reverse warrior, and exhale, side angle. You're moving just sideways with the spine. I invite you to slow this movement down. Match movement to breath. Take your time. Here is something to wonder about. As we learn more about the fascia of our body, the connective tissue that exists everywhere under our skin, holds us together. I was attending a webinar recently where the professor said, we really just have one muscle. Our whole body really is just one muscle, and it's separated by all these little pockets of fascia. So consider that as you move here, what you're feeling in your right shoulder is very much connected to your left ankle. Take one more breath in, back to reverse warrior. And windmill your hands to the earth, downward facing dog. You can also choose child's pose or vinyasa. Your practice, your sense of wonder. When you're ready, step your left foot to the top of your mat, drop the heel, and open out into warrior two. Bounce in and out of that front knee, lining it up over the ankle. Shoulders are relaxed. And then begin your journey with breath. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, side angle. as your hand reaches up or out, see if you can feel something lengthening in your lower leg. See if you can feel that connection. How pulling the fingers up literally causes a stretch around our hips. Find that sense of wonder at how it all works mostly perfectly most of the time. We'll take one more big inhale back into reverse warrior. Windmill the hands to the earth, downward facing dog. Your choice, stay or flow. Raising the right leg high. Step that foot through again, and once more time we'll drop our back knee to the ground. We did this earlier, back and forth, but we're going to find a little deeper stretch here. As Jeannie's on today, we're going to head into Hanumanasana, your version of the splits. So you can continue shifting forward and back. If you'd like to go a little farther, come back into this lengthening stretch that you'll feel in the back of your right leg. Pick up your foot and slide it forward a little bit. Pull hip back and then walk your fingers forward. Let yourself fold over the right leg. That's a great place to stay, just feeling that sensation. If you are curious and wonder about the idea of the splits, slide your back knee back. And maybe your splits looks like this. Maybe the front knee is really bent, the back knee is down on the floor, but you're just feeling this great sensation, hamstring and hip flexor. And then just realize that all bodies are built differently. This is a lot more about the way our bones are put together than it is about our flexibility. So find your expression of the pose of Hanuman, magical little monkey. Breathe here. Just slowly, gracefully or not, find your way out of Hanuman and roll down onto your belly. Let's just use this as a reset for that big hip opener. Turn your head to one side and just wiggle out your hips. Notice the difference between your left hip flexor and your right. Maybe the left side of your low back and the right. From here, with hands to shoulders, raised to a tabletop, you're welcome to take another vinyasa if you like. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And then we'll raise our left leg high, stepping that foot through and dropping the knee to the mat. And we'll turn around. Good, and once you find that, just start this easy rocking forward and back. And remember, this is a place to stay. Just continue doing this. A lot of benefit just from juicing the hips like this. If you'd like to move on a bit, extend your leg. Slide your heel forward, walk your hands forward, chin comes toward your foot, and just find that sensation, back of left leg. It's another great place to rest and stay. And if you'd like to move farther, scoot your right knee back a little bit, and sometimes this is the splits. There's a lot of bend in the knees. You can drive a truck through there. It's okay. How our bones are stacked up. There's no, yoga's not about the goal of getting the Instagram picture right. It's about noticing a body right here, right now. A body that's been aging since day one, and this is where we live today. It's being here. Finding breath right here. Finding wonder with what is and what isn't right here. We'll inch our way out of this posture, maybe not gracefully, but then lower to your belly. Wiggle out your hips. Let's just stay here and bring the elbows underneath us. Come into Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose offers a gentle back bend. And see if you can scoot your belly button forward about 2 inches. So just pulling with your hands backward as your ribs and belly slide forward. Feel length in your back. Relax your legs. Let your spine lift up and out. Nice. From here, lower to the earth, hands under your shoulders. If you want to really go for it, push up through chaturanga to plank. Otherwise, you can be on your knees. And we'll meet in child's pose. Hips are over the heels, knees can be wide, toes close together. You can bring your hands under your forehead if you like. Breathe out long here. From here, press up, sweeping the legs around into a seated position. Extend the legs out in front. Clearing the flesh, we'll move into a twisting posture. So we're just going to bend the right knee out. This is Janu Shirshasana, but without the forward fold. Arms reach high. Again, finding that breath that lifts us. We'll twist toward the right side. Finding again space on the inhale, lift on the exhale. Space on the inhale, lift on the exhale. Shoulders relaxed, chest open. Easing ourselves back, switch legs, extend the right, bend the left. Arms reach high, pull up as high as you can, and then rotate left side. On the inhale, fill your body with breath, expand. On the exhale, grow taller. take one more deep breath in here and exhale back to center. Let's let the legs come out into straddle. And again, every body is built differently. I'd like us all to start with our hands behind us. So if it feels a little better, put your hips up onto a cushion or a block. That gives us a little more of a tilt in the pelvis. And then with hands forward, reach your chest. If it feels like you're on the front of your sitting bones, then let go and reach your arms forward. If not, if you tend to roll backwards here, keep your hands behind you. And see if you can feel this more in the inner thighs and the hamstrings and less in the low back. So find your expression of this straddle posture. It's okay to be lifted on something. It's okay to have hands behind. That's how you find what your body needs. You might close your eyes and breathe. Gupta calls the ability to feel emotions a wonder. To not be able to feel would be the worst thing that could happen to us. He says we take this for granted usually because we suppress our emotions. But aren't the most beautiful or most remembered moments in our lives the ones where we feel most deeply? Whether that's joy or sorrow, happiness or pain. Aren't the most beautiful and remembered moments in our lives the ones where we feel most deeply? Wonder of our emotions. Coming back to center, let's draw legs together in front of us, and we'll finish this section with boat pose, Navasana. So bring the hands to the back of the knees, now getting onto the back of those sitting bones, closer to the tailbone, float your feet up. We can start right here, just anchoring ourselves by holding the backs of the legs, hug the low belly in, the shoulders pull onto the back. Option to stay here or reach the arms out to the sides. Option to stay here or raise the sail, come up into a high version of boat pose. Just keep pulling your tailbone off the floor and lifting your chest. Breathe. As we release that, the feet come to the earth. Lower yourself down onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. My microphone is dying, so I'm going to come up here close to the camera for the rest of this practice. So here you have the option to move around on the ground or maybe take happy baby if that feels good to you. Allow the floor to massage your lower back. If you can feel this all the way down across your glutes as you roll on the floor, your sacrum, the back of your waistband, maybe the back of your rib cage. And when you're ready, release your feet to the ground for bridge pose. Plant your feet by your hips. Let's lift up into gentle bridge first. Just come up to where your natural stopping point is. Arms rest at your sides. Notice what's there. Notice the height, the muscles that are working, the muscles that are stretching. And now if you like, bring your arms underneath you, interlace your hands, or just let your shoulders move underneath your body. pull your chest and your rib cage open. Think of eventually being on the tops of your shoulders more than the backs of your shoulders. Finally, if any of you enjoy wheel pose, take your hands on the earth and lift all the way up onto your tongue. And just slowly take your time coming back to the ground. Let's come into a twist, dropping the knees to the left. Arms can open out into a T and turn your head over to the right. Slowly switch that. Move your knees to the right, turn your head to the left. Steady breath. In and out, equal measure. And then bring yourself back to center, beginning to extend out into Shavasana. You might have pillows or props nearby that you'd like to use under your body or over you, supportive and helpful. The goal is stillness and relaxation here. The goal is to just be present in this body with this breath. So let's do one more Viloma breath. Empty the breath all the way out. Breathe into your belly and pause. Breathe rib cage and pause. Collarbones, pause. And then let the whole breath go out slowly. Find your normal steady breath and be here with a sense of wonder. The wonder of nature. The wonder of sounds. Wonder of the wind, the moon, the vast sky. The wonder of the sun and the stars. The wonder of changing weather. Of trees and rain, birds, rivers, everything that exists outside of the walls that now hold you. Imagine for these last few moments immersing yourself in the arms of nature. Before we leave this place, will you just bring one hand to your belly and the other to your heart? This connection again to this physical self. In the words of Saint Augustine, people travel to wonder at the height of mountains, at the huge waves of the sea, at the long courses of rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motion of the stars, and they pass by themselves without wondering. Begin to make the transition from where you are now back to a seat, moving and stretching in some way that feels just right for you. And allow your hands to come together in front of your heart in this gesture of gratitude, the way we end every practice. Let's take one moment here to just wonder. The wonder of love, the wonder of friendship, the wonder of relationships, of technology that allows us to be together even when life makes that hard. Thank you all for making time to wonder this morning. Have a beautiful Monday. Namaste.